I'm going to kick things over to Aja to start to talk a little bit about why essays are so important at UPenn.
So as you mentioned, essays are really important at Penn. They actually account for 25 to 35% of the admissions decision. And just to give a little bit of a background on, why this is, when you think about the applicant who's applying to Penn, a lot of them are going to be really qualified on what we can think of as, the hard side of your application material. So plenty of students come in with the killer GPA, their super rigorous course load, they've got the high standardized test scores if that's something they're choosing to admit. And once you've kind of met all those criteria and you've met the level of rigor expected by the school, the next thing that we're going to be taking a look at is your essays. And that is really going to be an important factor once you've met that academic standard that Penn is looking for. That's really going to be how they get to know you as a person and as a student to make sure that you're a good fit for their campus. Definitely.
So, I think Aja hit on this a little bit as she was talking about why essays are so important. But at schools like UPenn, essays are often what you can think of as almost like the tiebreaker between applicants, right? Because, there's a lot of folks who have the kinds of academics and test scores and extracurriculars that are going to get you, I guess, qualified for UPenn. And essays are really how they differentiate between everyone that's kind of met that baseline qualification, right? I kind of like to say sometimes that like your application, right, your GPA, your test scores, your grades, your coursework, all that stuff is how college determines if you are qualified to be a student at that campus, if you're going to be able to hold your own when you start to take courses and enroll on campus. The essays are how they decide if they want you to actually be a part of their community, right? The essays are do we want the student here, basically, right? And so your job with those essays is to make UPenn's admissions officers actively want to choose you over other applicants. And that's why, if you've attended one of my live streams before, I am sort of I'm, I guess, ruthlessly focused on saying, hey, you got to be super personalized and really explore your personal qualities in your essays. And that's why. So in terms of thinking about kind of why those essays are so important, it's precisely because when you get to a school as selective as Penn, those essays are going to be the thing that either gets you in or doesn't, in a lot of cases.
Part of this is because there's, a human person reading your application, and they are ultimately going to be the ones who's a big factor in the decision of whether you or not you get in. And sometimes that means your admissions officer's personal circumstances are going to impact how they read your essay. So different admissions officers will read your essay with different levels of context and experiences, which is why I recommend if, you're making niche references in your essay, make sure you provide some context. You never know what your background, your admissions officer is coming from. You want to make sure that your essay is easy to understand, even from somebody who's outside of the stuff that you're talking about. And things like factors like their politics, religion, their alignment with Penn's mission and culture, and even the other applicants they've already seen might affect their reading. Including things like the state of their mind and emotions at the moment that they're reading your essay. So if your admissions officer is having a really terrible day, and sometimes that is just how it is, that's negative emotions they could be bringing into reading your essay. So based on all of those things, even if you've got the most prepared application and you're really proud of the work that you've submitted, there still is always that element of luck when you're applying to a school as competitive as Penn.